Hi, welcome to this edition of Garden Guns. Bit of housekeeping. Once again, I'm having to reshoot the beginning of the video. I am no photographer. The first half of this video was shot in bright sunlight and the white balances were all out, and I don't really understand ISO settings and things like that and how to make the best of them. So here we are again at the beginning, redoing it all. Next piece of housekeeping was that I was originally going to do, as part of this video, I was going to do a history on the rifle that we're here to talk about today. And doing my research, I found this chap's channel. I think he's called Olie, and he does a channel called Historical Air Guns, and he does a really good piece on the origins of this air rifle. So I'm hoping to link his video in the description below. So if you are interested on the origins of this air rifle, then please go and check out his video rather than me taking your time up with it. Anyway, so what are we here to talk about today? We are here to talk about this beauty. And for those of you that don't know what this is the Weihrauch HW80. And this is a behemoth of an air rifle. So a quick history behind this air rifle. When it first came into Leicestershire Air Guns, and I had her on test, she was running silly hot. She was doing like 15, 16 foot-pounds. But the thing that really surprised me, even at 15, 16 foot-pounds, her firing cycle is unlike anything I'd ever experienced in Springer. Really progressive, a really nice, almost sort of lazy firing cycle. And I was sort of smitten. So we all thought that she was a tuned rifle. When we stripped her down to do the work to get her below 11.5 foot power, 12 foot-pounds, the internals were just the standard Weihrauch ones as far as we could tell. So, you know, I think that goes to show this period in Weihrauch's history, and this particular rifle, according to Weihrauch's serial number finder, was made somewhere between 1998 and 1999. So that makes it, what, 26 odd years old. So, you know, I think that goes to show that, you know, that period in Weihrauch's history, especially with the genesis of this rifle, they were making some really well engineered and superb pieces of kit. As far as I can tell, I don't notice any twang when I'm shooting her. All I get is a really nice thunk. Anyway, let's do a quick overview, and I'll run through a few things. So starting at the tip and ending at the butt. When I first got her, she had a Weihrauch mod on the front of it, which probably added another 6-7 inches, which basically meant that I could pretty much poke to death anything I was trying to shoot before I hit it. So she's not screw cut. It was a grub screw mod, so I got rid of the mod and added, I've traded it in and added got a second-hand foresight from the shop and added that. So I've mainly been shooting this rifle with the standard open sights, the Weihrauch open sights, because it's what I enjoy. It's what I enjoy doing with the Springer anyway. The barrel itself is 50 centimeters or 19.6 inches, which I think makes it a 20-inch barrel long. I've got sling swivels at the front and at the back, and the rifle weighing 5 kilograms-ish, maybe a bit more, but I think it's roughly 5 kilograms with my cowboy weigh-in. Yeah, weighing about 5 kilograms. I would say, and that's with the scope, I would say a sling is pretty much essential if you're going to be carting her around the field. Anyway, from the barrel you come into the breech. Standard Weihrauch breech with the standard Weihrauch foresight on it. Cylinder is, and this is where you can tell that this is a bit more of a beast. The cylinder is larger than your standard 99 or 35 or something along those lines, and as is the beech stock. She's a thick old girl, but I think that in itself, especially in the artillery hold, it sort of gives you a nice platform to work off when you are firing freehand. The beech stock itself, there's no checkering on the foregrip, but I mean, if you're using the artillery hold, that's no great loss. And on this particular rifle, you know, it's showing its age. It's showing its 26 years a bit. There are a few scratches in it, and a couple of knocks. You know, if you're that way inclined, you could sand it down and refinish it, and it would look absolutely superb. You know, I bought this particular rifle just as a pick up and go outdoors rifle, so it's not the sort of thing I'd probably end up bothering doing. But I think for those of you that might want to a really nice classic looking Springer, then that might be something that you would do if you had a rifle like this. Anyway, through the beach stock you've got checkering for the pistol grip, and then it goes into a rubber butt pad, standard Weihrauch crossbolt safety, and the record trigger, which I don't know how I've done it because I am no great trigger person, but somehow I seem to have got, anyway, for me anyway, the relationship between the trigger and the firing cycle into a sweet spot for my style of shooting. And I think with that sort of brief description on the rifle, let's take it to the shooting section, and then try and get my words out, get to the shooting section, and then we'll have a summing up. Back with you in a minute. Right, so these are JSB Exact Jumbo Diablos. They are 15.89 grams, 551 on the head size, 30 meters. Let's see how I do. Oh, I slightly pulled that. Okay, let's go down and see how I've done. Oh, I need a new bean bag. Right, so how do we do? Well, the bulk of the group's kind of underneath my thumbnail. Sort of an outlier there and an outlier there. I've got a feeling that shot there was the last one. It's windy today, like really windy. I have been struggling to get this group shot, and I think that's as good as I'm going to be able to get it. So, on the whole, what do I think to this rifle? Well, I absolutely love it. It's the thing that drew me to it was it's got a really sort of almost lazy recoil cycle to it. It's got a good thunk, it's got a good heavy thunk to it. The downside to that sort of lazy recoil cycle, I believe, is that it makes this rifle a tad hold sensitive. I definitely notice that if I don't do my part and repeat that technique, pretty much consistently, then I get a movement in the point of impact of the pellet. And the point being is, if I'm doing something slightly differently and I do it a couple of times in a row, I'll get a grouping in one place, and then I'll change slightly my grip or something like that, and then the rifle will group a couple of mils away in another zone. This rifle was definitely capable of printing a good single hole group at 30 meters, providing the owner, i.e. me, does his bit. And to be fair, I'm not the best Springer shooter. My technique is something that I'm working on. I'm working on that consistency, trying to get that same hold over and over and over again. But I don't know what it is. Every now and then I just slightly change, my position or the angle of my hand, the way that the hand is, because you don't grip a Springer, you cup it. So yeah. The way that I'm doing it slightly changes, and you can see those sort of variations in the point of impact with this. But anyway, on the whole, yeah, I absolutely love this thing. I'm going to be sad to see it go. I think I'm going to trade it in. I've got a TX200 on test from the shop at the moment, and I think I'm going to trade it in for that. So yeah, this is a lovely rifle, but I've got a 2299S and I actually think I prefer shooting that. So that's more me. And the TX200 is in 177 and I don't actually own a 177 Springer. So I think it's time to say goodbye to this beauty. She served me well, kept me sane during lockdown, I'll tell you that much. If it hadn't have been for this old girl during lockdown, I would have possibly gone a bit insane, because I did run out of air at one point. Yeah. The nice thing about these things is you don't need a bottle, you don't need a pump, all you need is a tin of pellets and somewhere to go shooting, and this will put smiles on your face for miles if you do your bit. Thank you very much for watching. Hope it's been of interest. Yeah, this rifle will be making its way to Leicestershire Air Guns for a trade-in if anybody's interested. Keep an eye out for the next video. Hopefully it won't be too long actually, because I think I'm going to try and go and immediately reshoot the beginning to another video now. So there should be a couple of videos hopefully coming out in the not too distant future. But anyway, once again, thanks for watching, and until the next video, please stay safe, and I look forward to catching up with you all soon. Cheers.